My Little Podcast. We are your hosts. I am Bree. I'm here with my father, Gary.
Hello.
My mother, Shelly.
Hi.
And my brother, Bryson.
Hello.
Today is our first attempt at doing some visuals with a webcam or, little studio cam going on.
We don't know if we're keeping that.
No, if you see us, it worked, and if you don't, it didn't work yet. But we'll keep working with it until it does. So today we're going to be chit-chatting about the most recent weekly peek, and we'll probably, let's see, what did we do last week? We did the jeans, and we'll probably talk a little bit about our jeans as well. Oh, Mom changed
That's important.
The calendar
We
there.
don't want people to be go, oh, whoa.
I convinced my mom. She's like, we should get a calendar. They were on sale, and I was like, we should get a calendar. She's like, okay, which one? And I'm like, goats and trees. Here, Mom. So we have goats and trees as our calendar. So anyway, we had a super fun week. It's been a little bit more filled, I'd say, at least for me, with doing a new video on Wednesday. We've done that for the past 3 weeks, I think we've done it. It won't always be that way, but every so often we'll have probably a slug of new ones or a new one every so often, or I don't know how it'll go.
And you got an aquaponics one coming, don't you?
Yep.
This
We're going to
Wednesday?
do a little aquaponics update.
Cool.
Pretty cool.
Excited for that.
It's exciting. Yes.
That'll be the plan this week. It's going to be pretty exciting. So, let's see here. We had. I hope that you had a wonderful Mother's Day with your mom, or if you are a mom.
It's a good Mother's Day.
Special.
Yeah, I went over to Garen and Ellie's yesterday, and that was fun.
Yes. Pretty
Bryson brought
exciting.
some lettuce over to him.
Yes.
Did you guys get that on film?
Yes.
Okay,
On
good.
film.
Good.
We had a great Mother's Day.
Yeah. You did, especially
Yes.
having the mom.
Yeah,
you
Ellie
got the
too.
whole mom thing
Ellie
going.
had a great
Yeah.
Mother's Day, so everybody did well.
Everybody's
Everybody's mom did well. Hope your moms did well too.
Yeah, it's awesome.
We had so many wonderful suggestions and recommendations on this video, the weekly peek, and I thought I would share one here. There was quite a few I thought really good ones about doing starters and in the aquaponics and that kind of stuff. We had some really good ones, and I screenshotted the one by Stephanie Hausler. Said,
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
Garen and Ellie.
Happy Sweden Day. Sweden Day.
No,
Swiss. Swiss is Sweden. Sweden
I
is
don't think
Switzerland.
so. Yeah.
Well, let's get your country straight.
Boy, I'm surprised. Yeah, you're usually
Wow.
Yeah.
Definitely
on
on top of
those.
that,
It had a
guys.
sweat in it. That's all I knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
sorry,
wonder
Stephanie.
if that's an insult.
You're
Is
probably
that-
from Pocatello, Idaho. So anyway.
She says, Garen and Ellie, I found an easy way to wick starters from seed. Take a plastic drink bottle, cut off the top, enough to put dirt in, and flip it upside down into the bottle. Drill a small hole into the lid and feed a string up through the hole, enough to coil up through the soil and down into the water. Put in some dirt into the top section, then seeds. Cover them with a bit more soil, and then put water in the base and water the soil. The string should wick and just top up the water when it's getting low. Seeds will take what they need, and you don't need to think about watering them every day. Wait until they get a couple inches high at least before planting them. You may want to harden them, get them gradually used to the outside conditions before planting. I hope that helps.
Are you seeing that, Bryson?
interesting.
Because you could literally put that in your aquaponic
On the
circle
floating trays.
and just have that wick go down into
Yeah.
the
Automatic
aquaponic.
watering
And then you
system.
have your little soil base too for that plant.
Ooh.
That would work.
see
Good.
that.
That might work really well.
For seedlings. Perfect.
That was a solid recommendation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
good
that.
one. Good
I like that.
one.
And then we had another one by Guardian75. Said, here's an old trick for starting your seedlings. Take your cardboard egg cartons and fill the egg cups with your starting soil. Add your seeds and then water from the bottom by putting cartons in a tray that has walls in it, and add your water to tray and replenish as needed. Best if you soak the egg carton first, then add soil. You can then plant the plant when it's time by cutting the bottom open and leaving the rest of the section to it. Don't forget to cut and separate each section of seedling. The paper left does two things. Gives even water to the plant and will keep it firmly standing so it will root a lot better. You can also cut paper towel and toilet rolls into lengths and do the same thing. Old backwoods growing trick for you. Nice job there, son.
Woohoo! Nice.
The only one problem with that is we don't have egg cartons because we don't buy eggs right now.
Yeah.
I know.
But
We're
maybe,
running out of egg cartons. We
Yeah.
need egg cartons.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do have the rolls though. We could try because I mean we have for the
Yes.
yeah.
Dirter tubes. You
Yeah.
know what a dirter tube is?
Like we have for paper towels and then also for
Toilet paper.
toilet paper as
Yeah.
well. Yeah. So
Oh yeah, those are.
okay, so Alan W made a suggestion that I'm not sure if it's a joke or if it's serious, and I thought I would
That fits right here,
I'd
doesn't
lay
it?
it
Somehow.
out for us just in case. And that is, he said, blowtorch that hypertufa. I don't know if it's a joke or if it's serious, like what it would do if you blowtorched it. And the inside of my curiosity and that my brain is just rattling. Like I really want to know what it does now. that
Yeah.
just me?
Well, I imagine Bryson is all for that
Is
one.
it
He likes
blowtorch the
blowing things
paper
up.
off?
Well,
Burn the paper off. Burn
was
the
that what he's
paper
thinking,
box
burning
off.
the paper off. That's why I
Yeah.
was saying blowtorch it.
I don't know. Maybe heating it would create
Well,
something.
the perlite is a perlite that we put in there with that, or
A
Wouldn't that
vermiculite.
melt and burn?
Vermiculite.
Similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
so maybe that would do
It
something.
probably start melting.
Yeah, hypertufus.
Or maybe that's the idea: is you want the perlite to melt into the material to make it tougher.
You know, it could be a joke, and we're making it into a real thing. I love this. This is called
Things that
creativity.
can start as jokes could be very serious.
That's
Yes.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a-
Mistakes can make the best inventions.
well, every
Often
good
they
joke has
do.
this is a bit of seriousness to it. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that sting, but they're also the most funny.
Well, it depends on. yeah.
Wasn't popcorn a mistake?
You know, I've been thinking about popcorn lately,
Uh-oh.
and you know,
Can you
Is it-
grill popcorn?
well, isn't it interesting that the kernel turns into that when it gets hot? I mean, it's like a little mini miracle every time a kernel pops.
But aren't they soaked in like water? And then
Yeah, I guess so. You get some water, but why is there? I mean, I don't know of any other kernel that does that.
Yeah.
that's true.
And we know a kernel chicken, so I mean that's pretty intense.
That's true, but I mean, like, try that with a wheat berry or
Well, what kind of
oat
I see what
berry.
you're saying.
You know, you don't. You just
Doesn't
don't.
do that.
I mean,
Is-
I don't know. Maybe
corn's
no
a grass, right? And these are just the seeds from the pod.
Could we
Isn't
do
that how
that
that
with
works?
like?
Yeah,
could
it
you
would
do
be
that
the
with, could you
corn
make,
cob, right?
yeah.
Turns into.
Or grass
quinoa
seed.
popcorn.
Quinoa popcorn.
I don't know if I don't.
Get
Think,
some raw-
I don't know of
raw
any
quinoa.
other. Maybe I mean maybe
Well, I've
there
tried
is.
quinoa before, actually.
But I mean, I
know,
was thinking, and it grows like four times the
does that.
size, turns into this
Yeah.
big white thing.
Put some butter on
it's
it
a
and salt.
miracle.
It is a miracle.
It melts in your
God was
mouth.
like, I've made so many grains. Let's spice this up a little
Yes. Yeah. And then you could
bit.
get
What can we
popcorn
do with popcorn?
in any
do
flavor,
with
you know,
corn?
too. They make the big cans and they have 3 different styles in it.
It explodes
Yeah, but I
in
think-
such
yeah.
a unique way too.
It's good stuff.
It explodes in such a unique way.
Yeah,
Wait, can we
each
harness the
kernel is
You know,
unique.
it doesn't.
We
break
should
apart
harness
in a
the
bunch of
energy.
little solid
Harness the
pieces.
energy. Harness the energy of popcorn making and
The question
charge
is,
a battery.
how much
Run your
energy do you take to heat that popcorn up
No, run your TV and have a nice snack.
to make
I
the
like it.
reaction happen?
Put all the phones around
The
it.
only problem is when you're watching a show, it would go tick 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 tick.
That would be a
Right,
problem.
from the
Oh,
popping.
It
Yeah.
need to be a soundproof area.
I think
Yeah.
we should just videotape it and just put it on YouTube. Popcorn popping.
You know, I actually did think of something. I recently learned this.
One of those oddly
Um,
satisfying.
I can't name the YouTuber because I can't remember his name. I'm so
Oh, you
sorry,
can't
but
name him because you can't remember? How funny
it the
that?
slow- Slow-mo
Practical-
guys?
Is it practical engineering? I think
Oh,
it might
oh,
be
no.
practical engineering. I
Okay.
think.
Okay.
Anyway, he demonstrated that if you put dirt, like dry dirt,
Yeah.
in there, and he was demonstrating how buildings they sink and they rise with dirt, and they can crack the cement structures can crack and stuff, right?
She's calling.
And he was showing that.
Shay's giving us a ring.
Anyway, he was showing that, and it got me thinking. So if you have dirt, like dry clay dirt underneath a structure, right?
Yeah.
And it gets wet, that structure will swell or shrink, and it's like it will lift that entire structure just by putting water in there. So I was thinking, what if you made a device that worked off that concept of that sponge-like concept, where when water seeps into it, it swells, right? And that pressure generates electricity, and when it dries out, it shrinks. So then it
Like on a beach or something?
It's kind of like, in a way, it's kind of like those birds, you know, the dipping
Hydro.
bird. It's kind of exactly like that, where water dehydrates. You know, it dips into the water, and then when it goes up, the water
Yeah.
it evaporates.
That was
right? Or it
always a
actually-
mystery
actually-
to me.
It actually has to do with
Hydration, evaporation.
Has to do with the chemical that's inside the bird, I believe, and that chemical condenses when it gets cold. So when the bird comes down, it tips into the
Are
water.
we still talking about popcorn?
condenses.
No, we're talking
Right?
about ways to make energy.
Oh,
Yeah, now we're on to a dipping bird. I'm sorry.
I'm
Stay
Keep
with
up.
us here.
Keep
I'm
up.
trying.
Agree.
I'm
What's the
sorry.
deal
I
with
zoned
this?
out for a second. I'm
Anyway,
looking for the next
so-
comment.
That dipping bird then, causes the water
Yeah.
to condense, which then pours into the back of the dipping bird to cause it go up,
Up the other one.
right? And then it heats back up because it evaporates. I'm sorry, and then it causes it to get less the weight, right, for the bird
Yeah.
to come back down, and then it recondenses. And
I always thought it's
decondenses.
because like it got drunk.
Well,
We're
it probably
drinking that
depends
because
on
it came
what
out of
the liquid
a
is, right?
it came out of a shot glass. The first time I ever saw it, and I thought it was like drinking out of a shot glass, and it was getting drunk. 'Cause
It's a little woozy.
it got woozy, and then it came back down for another drink.
I could be wrong
That's what I
about
thought.
that theory,
Really,
but
I
I
did.
believe that's how they work.
I think
I
I
could be
saw
wrong.
something
Very
like
cool.
that.
Well,
yeah.
not to derail
Sorry
that.
on that
Oh,
whole
okay.
track.
Energy
we
that
thing
just
there.
whole
dipped our
loop
toes
that we
into
just
that a little bit.
went
Yeah.
around there.
And so, Ford says it doesn't seem like you have nearly enough fish to generate enough fertilizer for your vegetables. Will you also be harvesting the fish someday?
Okay, so believe it
Yes
or
is
not,
the answer.
yes, eventually.
And
if
now
they
why?
live.
Is it yes on
if
all
they
fronts?
live, we're
If
still
they live.
working
Yes
on the
to the
whole living
harvesting, but,
fish
like-
thing. That
Okay.
seems to be a bit of a challenge. Can't ever
Just
keep
keeping
the
them
fish
alive,
I can
right?
keep the plants alive. I can't keep the fish alive. That's my next challenge. But
That's for Bryson's, yeah.
on that actual thought there, the fish really, they're producing fertilizer, but they're not producing a lot. Most of it actually comes from the leftover fish food that they don't eat. So I'm purposely putting a little extra fish food in there that I normally wouldn't. Like normally you wouldn't feed that fish that much, but I do.
Is there like nitrates in that fish food, or
Yeah,
what's
so what
the
happens
composition?
is the fish food starts to break down.
Yeah.
So whatever the fish don't eat, the leftover fish food breaks down into the nitrate, or into
Yeah.
eventually the nutrients, or into
Okay.
the ammonia, then nitrite, then nitrate.
Yeah.
The whole nitrogen cycle kind of
Yeah.
takes effect on just regular food too.
Okay, and that's what feeds the
Plants.
roots of the plants.
Yeah,
Okay.
it becomes the nutrients
it's-
for the plants.
So it's not just the excrement of the fish; it's also
the extra fish food that's in there.
extra fish.
But
food. Yeah.
for now, that's how this system is working. If the fish were bigger, you wouldn't want that extra fish food in there because the fish would be producing enough.
They're probably eating more
Mm.
than.
Because they'd be eating more, you'd
Yeah.
have less food you'd be putting in the system too.
Okay.
Because they're, again,
There's your 2 science lessons in one shot right here. Mom goes and it just
I know, it
leaves.
turns into a
Mom leaves and it's in a
science
science lesson. What?
sorry.
No,
wait,
this is
I-
cool.
I have another.
I was wondering though.
She's trying to
There it
segue
is.
over here.
Okay, I'll stop.
Save
I'll
it,
go-
save
no,
it.
Go for it. Go
Oh,
for it.
I don't want
His brain was
It's
engaged.
good. It's good.
It was chug-a-lug and 5
I'm
miles.
sorry.
Chug-a-lug.
John Hoy, and I don't realize that this is a question for Garen, but I thought you might know the answer to it. I'm sure you know more about this than I do, but why did you choose duckweed over azolla? So many people seem to. I was not sure why, and thought you might share your thoughts.
Duckweed.
I've seen the duckweed. What's a Zola
I'm
look like?
confused. Okay, I think this was what Garen was talking about on a video or two ago, where
Okay.
he was discussing to put the other name, which is you
The
have
duckweed?
and you have azolia, I believe is what you said.
Zola
something
or
like that.
something?
There's,
I don't know
there's
how it's
two
said.
kinds of plants that you can grow on the water surface, and I think the it's just an alternative plant. I'm not really sure the differences on it or anything. I've not done too much research on plants that grow on the water, but yeah, I believe that's what he's talking about, and I don't
know.
know. You'd
Okay.
have to ask Garen
I
that
thought
question.
maybe you might.
Did they explain why? Did they
They just
ask the question one over the other?
I think that let's see here. I think that John was just wondering what the difference was between the plants if we knew.
I think it's the
why.
size of the
I don't
duck
know.
that lands in
Oh
there.
my gosh.
Likes to
I
land
don't
in
know.
duckweed rather than, and then you can go hunting at the same time. It's perfect. It's a blind,
Perfect.
duck blind right
Yeah.
there.
I'm hoping.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to find another one here that is
Aquaponics
for the
oriented.
Aquaponics related.
aquaponics because I don't want to get into anything else until Mom's here. Yeah.
So recently, I've been trying to lower the pH in the aquaponics system. Sorry.
No. No.
so
do your thing.
The pH right now loves to set at 9, which is like really, really high.
Is that danger zone?
For fish. Like if you get any higher,
Well,
you start getting to where nothing can live.
Where's
in
the
tank
range?
kind of deal.
Where's your range? Now 9
so
compared to
a
9 billion.
range goes from 0, which is the most acidic acid you could possibly
Okay,
find.
0 is like-
all the way up to like 14, I think it is.
Okay.
Which is the most alkaline. It's basic.
Okay.
Right? It goes the other way. Alkaline
Baking
is actually
soda
basic.
versus muriatic
Yeah,
acid.
basically, baking soda, which I think is like I don't know what baking soda is.
It's gotta be in the
can't say,
teens,
but
right?
It's up there in the basic
Yeah.
area.
Higher.
And so what you want is 7, which is like exact middle. It's
Okay,
considered
makes sense.
neutral.
Balance.
It's the nice little neutral spot.
Okay.
And that's where like most people want their aquaponic systems to set, because it's ideal, because fish kind of like more alkalinity, or more basic,
Mhm.
alkalinity, that's different, but basic water, and plants like a little more acidic
Mhm.
water. So if you set right at the 7, you kind of sit nice. Something like that. Or it might be reversed. I can't remember, but it's something like that. So you like your pH to be nice at the 7 level. So I've been trying to lower it,
Yeah.
and well, that's been quite the chore. I've ended up using
You
peat
test
moss,
that thing
and I've
twice
gotten
a
it to 8.
day.
I've gotten it
Yeah.
to 8, which
Yeah.
I'm really happy about, but I'm trying to lower it.
You know, maybe they make an
challenge.
electronic tester that you can attach to the side of a fish. And as it swims around, it can make the test for you. And then send that information to your phone, and you could dial in anytime.
You gotta see this guy with his peat moss though. He's got 2 old socks.
Yeah.
Somehow he found socks without holes in them. I don't know how he did it. He found 2 old socks. He chucked them full of peat moss and he just stuck them in there. They look like 2
What
feet
are those
hanging
for?
out.
It's been so peat moss releases something called like tannins or something like that, or
Tannins?
Tannins. That's
Is it
more
tannins?
tannins.
I don't know.
Something
I don't
like
know.
that. It's like TANNIS or something like that.
Yes. 10.
And what happens is that's acidic. So as
Oh.
it slowly releases that acidicness into the water, it starts dissolving away the basicness of that water, so to speak, and it gets it more towards the acidic
Okay.
level. And so that's what I've been trying to do, and I've gotten it to an 8. It's been slowly moving the general direction, and I recently learned too, there's minerals and stuff in the water that act as a buffer, like a pH buffer that causes that not to move. Like it starts
Dun,
absorbing your
dun,
acid and it
dun.
leaves it at the same
It
level.
says
But
no more.
So it's a 7, but it's going up 8, so it's going more alkaline. But yeah, you're trying
going
to
down
lower
to
the
8.
chlorine.
Okay, so
It's
now
going more
chlorine's
acidic.
something different.
Oh.
Chlorine
okay.
is a whole nother boat.
I've
Sorry,
had too
did
much.
I open that
I've
up?
had too much minerals and HP for
Yeah,
like
Shelley, you
Sorry.
left, and we've done
No,
nothing but
you-
science since you
pH.
left. Shelley.
Oh, good.
I don't
Did
know what
say
HP is.
health points. They've
Oh,
lost over the
got
past
you.
10 minutes.
Health points of the fish. You want
Yes.
those health points nice
Yeah,
and
we
high.
want
Have
those
you-
health points up.
Have you been speaking?
Hopefully
Okay.
they have a health bar.
Okay. Now I believe that this is again a
Wait.
Gary question, but
I
what?
can't let this go.
What?
You could attach a little health bar onto each fish, and then it could beam that information
What
to your
if you can
phone.
What
chip-
if you made
you
this
can
little
chip the
patch?
tip.
Chip the
Chip it.
fish.
Chip it, or what if you made a patch that sticks to the side of the fish and it turns green when it's good and it starts to
Color-wise,
decolor
perfect.
when it goes bad?
Yeah.
You know,
You
your
kind
fish
of
is
already
gonna
get
die.
that when you're at the
You know,
beach.
I did hear of a paint that's electrified. It actually glows in the dark when you throw a power to it, right? A plus and a minus DC, and it will make that paint glow. Turn it on and off.
Dun,
Rebar
dun,
does that too when you put enough current through it.
Well, yeah, sure. Anyway,
It doesn't switch very well.
where were you, Bree? Sorry,
Sorry,
I
go
derailed
ahead.
this yet again.
We're all the way to melting metal now, so we
Okay.
ran the gamut.
Sorry.
Did
Okay,
you read the top comment, Brie?
it's fine.
Oh boy,
50
she
thumbs
did
up.
not get this comment out for the
Oh,
life
I'm
of
sorry.
us.
Did you not?
She's only been working on it for half an
Been
hour
working
now.
on it. Me and Dad have been taking it on the whole
It's the
gamut
last
of stuff here.
aquaponics, and I'm like, I'm coming
Oh,
to
please,
chugga-lugga-lugga.
please push that through.
One more. Here we go.
Do it.
And now, CBGB says, does one of the fish swim into the piping? Can't they get all the way around and through and be shoved through the pipes and the rocks? Can they? Now, I think there was something that happened,
oh
didn't
my-
there, when he first put it in? Didn't he have fish in every single tank?
He did. So he put them in the main tank where he wanted them to stay, and they ended up in his solids filter, his main filter box. They just ended
didn't
up
have any filters
everywhere.
on
They just
any of that.
they got up into the pipes and they just swam
Oh,
everywhere.
that's great.
So he did have that issue happen to
They
him.
were on a road trip. They're like, let's see
Yeah.
how far this goes. All the way around.
They like to swim,
Yeah.
and they're fast, so they really can.
That was a good one, Brie.
That's a good
Okay,
one.
go for your first
That's
comment.
funny.
There.
Oh, I was just
That's,
going to say the top comment with 50 thumbs up from Heather McNeil, and she says the footage with Azalea and Grandpa was so heartwarming.
Small baby.
Oh, Oh, it's
Small baby.
so cute.
She gets in these moods where she's just mirroring everything that you do. So if you do funny faces, she goes,
Yeah.
Well, I'm a funny face, so that's easy to do.
I can't mirror that, but I'll try. Okay, so Rose Girl Beauty. So I should say before I get into this comment that Bryson, people were loving your haircut. Some people were lamenting your haircut, but all in all, I think the haircut made a splash.
It did.
Oh,
Looked
good.
awesome.
Yeah,
Good.
I'm glad we didn't cut it. Just kidding. Shay, how did you learn to cut Bryson's hair? My husband wants me to cut his hair the same way, but I have no idea how to do it. I've never used clippers, but I have cut his hair before. Thank you for any advice. Maybe you could do a video tutorial. Well, obviously I'm not Shay, but I want to say that Shay has been learning how to cut hair since forever, hasn't she?
Yeah,
She's
since she was early
Yeah.
12
she's
or
been
something.
she's cut all of our hair for years. I don't know if we've
She really
hardly
has.
ever seen the inside of a salon.
And we always
Well,
make
it's not
the
like
joke.
we're always going to town, So, hey, Shay, I need a haircut today.
We always make the joke that if she messes up on a dude's hair, we can just buzz it all. and
Yeah.
it'll just be fine.
It's
Yeah.
like it's fine.
Grows
But-
back. Well, for some people, it grows back.
Some of us it doesn't grow back so fast.
Did you have do you have a spotty haircut at one time, Dad? Is that what the problem was?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I do have to share this long hair story. Is when I met your mom, I had long hair and a ponytail. Yes,
You always
I
make
did.
Fun of me. At
Well, she made fun of me too, so I cut it off. But anyway,
I did? I didn't
No,
make
she
fun
didn't
of you.
make fun of you. No, you didn't, baby. Sorry. It's just trying to be funny. You didn't do that. But no, I did. I had
I
the
mean,
long hair.
behind your
and a
back I
ponytail.
did, but
Yeah,
not
well,
front
not
of
front of my
your
Front of
face.
you. I'm
Father
glad
like
you
son,
did
I
that.
guess.
Thank
Son
you so
like father.
much.
Father
Thank
like
you.
son.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's yeah. It was
Father
fun.
like son, I guess.
But yeah, I did the whole pony. That's when I had hair back in those days. That was
Yeah.
You still have hair.
That's 30 years
You
ago.
still have hair.
Kidding me? You've got a beautiful beard.
See, I think
going.
what happens is, as a guy grows older, his beard gets bushier and his hair gets thinner, and the hair just transfers. It just goes from it's like
It falls.
we don't need as much up here.
Yeah.
Let's chill out on the chinny chin chin.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's where
That's
that's
good.
where the cool party begins.
I have a spot in my beard right in the middle of my chin. That
You have
I
a
cannot
what?
Grow any hair right here. It's just
I
right
can't
in
see
the
it.
middle of my chin.
I have that same spot that doesn't grow.
Oh man, me too, Mom. No way.
But never,
It'll grow. It'll grow someday.
eventually.
Yeah.
Now Kip gives us a tip.
Kip it.
Ooh,
Kip tip.
Kip Larson gives us a tip.
Kip.
He says if you put a crib fitted sheet on the top of the pack and play, it's another layer of shade, so the little one will be more protected.
I love that.
That's a good. We got to tell Garen and Ellie about that. That's a
Yeah,
really good
fitted
idea.
sheet
And
over
somebody
the top
else.
of
Let's see. There was another reply to that says Ashley Jackson says and keep the bugs off. Really, really
got bugs.
excellent ideas.
Yeah. You lose
I
a
love
lot of
that.
children this way. Mosquitoes carry them off. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea.
Yeah,
It's a great idea. I can imagine it.
idea.
Hank Olivier says a pig threw a swine drum, a tantrum, but it's called a swine drum.
He was so funny that day.
He was like
He
in
was.
a mood,
He wa-
and he gets this really sassy walk going.
Yeah,
Like his
that's
hips
what it
start
was.
swaying. He's like, "You guys are done,"
That's it. I'm out of here.
you know.
It was, when I was having to bottle feed the goat, I would take the milk out in the morning and I would call for Crash and he'd come running and Yui would run right next to him too. And he would lay right next to him. He'd just plop on his side and roll on his back because he knew I would be, feeding the goat and then scratching his belly at the same time. He loved that. But I'm not bottle feeding the goat anymore, so he's missing out on his belly rubs.
Well, like he got
Yeah,
up
and
really late last night, came over and plopped over on his side so that I would give him a scratch when I was taking my dog out. He's like, "You're here. I'm gonna get a belly rub."
It's so funny. I used to put the goats in the main area where we're at in the backyard, and every time I do that, I bring a little grain out for the baby goats. And he got used to knowing where that grain was, and so he looked forward to his grain every single night. I put the goats in. Well, I stopped putting the goats in the backyard. I started
Did he
putting
whine
them in
at
the
you?
chicken coop or whatever. And now he's like there, but he's like upset that he's not getting any
Does
of
he
the
like
food
whine? Does he go on?
that comes.
You know how
he
they do.
can't
Does he
believe
do
it.
that?
He doesn't quite do that, but he is at the gate. And he's like, "What's the deal?
What's
Where's
the
my
deal?"
food? Where is it?"
That's probably what's adding to his anger. He's missing his belly rubs.
my
He's not
gosh.
getting the food in the middle, and then he's
wonder.
laying on
then on
rocks.
top of that-
Yeah, he's
losing
out
it.
of sorts.
Yeah, he's out of sorts.
It's not
We'll have to
working
do
for
something
him.
special for him.
Pretentious pig.
You know what? We should make a little machine he can go into that belly rubs him for him, and like squashes him and washes him down. And
And it
misses him.
runs off of
Cheek corner.
solar or kinetic energy that we can store in a battery.
Well, I'm just thinking if he runs in there, you know how pigs start to run when they start getting upset? Well, maybe it's powered by the pig run. So as
Pig
he
run.
runs, he's like on a treadmill and
Good.
washes him down,
I
scrubs
like
him
it.
down, keeps him
I like
misted.
it.
I feel like pigs have very short bursts of energy, and then they're like, okay,
I'm done.
That was.
He'd
that
probably
was
just
too
give up
much.
in the treadmill, which probably just run him out the back.
Oh, did I ever tell you about this story when I was out hanging laundry, and the pig, he's really making a big deal about pulling up some grass and taking it over to his bedding, and I thought, oh wow, he's getting in there. It's early. He's getting in there. He's doing it. There's green all around, but look at him working. And he makes this huge deal about taking in 5 strands of grass into his bedding, and then he walks away he really helped his bedding out. And I looked over, and there's not even a handful of grass in there, and he's so proud of himself for working. That was enough. Now let me eat some.
He's got a lot of work in that courtyard. I had to start picking weeds the other day because that's a lot to eat back there.
We'll have to get another one.
He's so funny.
Wait. We got enough pigs in the
I know.
backyard.
We have,
Well, and we had the little goats back there, and I was hoping they would eat a lot of it. They just kept hopping in the flower pots and eating all my
all the good
starts.
stuff.
They want all the
Yeah.
good stuff that you're growing.
Yeah, so we had to kick them out of there.
They
Yeah.
can't eat,
It was
can't
time.
reach any of the aquaponics stuff, which is good.
They were walking on your house.
Oh, yes. So funny.
Tell the story. Really, and throw all the lamenting and crying.
All
in
right.
there.
Okay. So in the back of my house, my earth bag room, there's a little. I think we did this for a water heating floor or something.
Yeah, we
It
were going to
didn't
do
quite work out.
radiant
It
heat
was just
floor,
kind of a-
and I had the equipment there.
Yeah, so it's just kind of Yui sleeps in it now. It's kind of a little doghouse now. And the goats found a way to get on top of that little building. Then from the little building, Spider-Man leap onto my roof. I woke up one morning and there was a goat looking through my skylight. You know, and this time it's up on the rooftop, click, click, click. I know what that sounds like. I'm not kidding. 2:00 in the morning, they're like, click, 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 click. I'm like, why are you even up? Oh my gosh, that was too much.
I remember I was walking by and I looked up. I was like, "Oh my goodness!"
Yeah,
they were
they're
just
up there.
up there, looking down at me, like, "What are you doing?"
It was like you see those pictures of the Alps where they're up on these crazy inclines. That's
Yeah,
what it was
on
like.
the
These little
trees and
baby goats. They're like,
stuff.
what? They're like, yeah, oh my gosh, it's so loud too. And I swear they took extra steps just because they could.
I'm sure.
Doing a little jig up there.
My dog, he'd be laying on the bed and looking up at the ceiling like, are you kidding me right now? He knew what it was. It's cracking him up. Oh my gosh.
I just dawned on me. We could have electrified the top of your metal roof.
Yeah,
With
then
an
they
electric
could fall.
fence.
Oh my god!
And then if they jump up there, they get shocked, so they have to get down.
Bryson.
Every way I figured, trying to keep them off, I felt like it would put them in danger. So I think just having them not there was probably the best way to
Take
go.
him out of the backyard. We're done.
They are quite the climbing.
Okay, we
They're
have a
climbers
top
this
comment.
Climb.
We got a top comment.
We already
We
did
already
the
did that
top
one.
comment.
Was-
But I also have one from. Oh, do you want me to mention it again?
What?
Because it was about you.
Well, of course. I didn't know, but now you have my permission. So please do.
No, we're moved on now. Because,
No. Go right
because
ahead.
we keep going forward.
You're doing fine.
I want to say Liz D said you missed a perfect opportunity to put petunias in your well pot. I think it's the tuna. The petunias, right?
Petunias.
Right?
Getting fishy with fishy.
Yep, getting fishy.
Good, nice fun.
Sounds fishy.
That's
Creative.
awesome. Those poor we bought those flowers to go into that pot, and they were beautiful when we took them out of the store. Oh my goodness, they were gorgeous. We were like, oh, Shay's gonna love these.
Yeah.
But we didn't have any. All of our cars are out of air conditioning at the moment. We just need to charge them up or whatever. I don't know why. When
they're
all of
just
it goes
all
out, they all
missing.
go out. But
Yeah.
anyway, so it was pretty hot in that car, and granted, it wasn't a long drive to to Shay's from
Yeah,
the store,
and then
but-
we were going to go to her house. We were going to pick up the plant and go to her house, but she wasn't even home. She's out hiking.
Oh,
So we ended up going to the store first, so it sat in the hot car.
Oh, that's what did it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then when we pulled those out, they look so sad. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Here's a pot full of spaghetti. Shay.
Well, first of all, we found the most beautiful plant, and I was so excited because it was. It had a stem that went up about a foot, and then it was like a little round ball on the top. And what was so cool about it is it looked like a whale, blowing up the water on the
Yes,
top.
it did.
And I'm like, Bree, we got to buy this
it's so
plant. This
perfect.
is it. And she's like, Mom, that plant is artificial. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. And I start touching the leaves, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it was plastic.
Oh,
So we couldn't.
It was. It would have been so perfect too. I almost said, well, maybe on film. then
Maybe
we could
maybe
tell.
Shay won't notice.
Yeah, maybe she won't notice.
She'll be watering it.
But then I thought, yeah, maybe not.
Man, this plant grows slow. I've been watering it for a year,
Yeah,
and it looks the same.
Nothing is planted,
you
and
had
I'm
just-
smelling something.
And you had just bought a bonsai, so I thought that's what it was. I thought it
They
was a
had
little.
tons of bonsais there.
Yeah.
So cool.
Oh, those are really-
So you have a little one?
Speaking of which, we bought your little yerba mate tree,
Yeah.
right? Finally, some leaves are coming out on it. For the longest time, it looked fake. It
Yeah.
just did not grow. It didn't do anything. No
It didn't
leaf.
turn-
It didn't even change color.
Yeah,
It
it was
just
just
stayed the
green.
same.
Yeah.
Really?
But it's not done anything. And all of a sudden, little green starts popping out the top.
Because
hoping it'll
underneath,
It was
it's
probably
a massive root system.
Probably.
I hope so.
And then
Maybe
in
it was just a
in
mate plant.
3 days, it's gonna be like
no herba.
massive tree.
I hope so.
That would
Yeah,
be
we've
epic.
got some ideas, and we'll probably be sharing those. Probably not this week. Hopefully, our epoxy is sitting at the post office, so hopefully we'll pick that up and we'll be able to get that door done this week. And then we've got some ideas. I was doing some research on living valances and plant valances, and we came up with some ideas. I'm really excited. Gary's been throwing things together, and we're going to be painting and sharing those probably maybe a little bit this week, but for sure probably a week from Friday, if not, because I want to definitely the door has got to get. We can
Yeah,
get
we
the
have
doors
to
hung,
finish
and
up.
I'm so excited to see what those look like in the kitchen. They're just so beautiful. And
Turned
then
out good.
and then and I've been changing around some of the plants in there. We're going to do a living valance similar to what we did on the back door. We'll put one there too, and a hanging plant to kind of allow.
the front
That's
window.
been working really good. The plants keep growing, and we keep wrapping them around. And that one's another thing that just completely defies logic. It's in this little pot. Right?
Yeah, so
if you
small.
remember from when we did the valance, across, and it's in this little pot, and yet it just keeps growing, and I keep wrapping it around, and it's dropping. I mean, it's like, what?
I know.
How much?
It's gone crazy.
I don't
It's
understand
crazy.
how that
I
plant
think we
works.
even clipped off a little bit because some of it fell over, and then the door
Well,
shut.
there's a
Well,
pot.
what's so cool is it's like perfect because like those back doors, it hangs down. You open, close the door, snip it off. It's like all in one. Beautiful.
Self-trimming.
It is. It's
Yeah.
perfect.
It's
Keeps it
growing out of
trimmed.
the smallest
were
pot.
you
It
gonna
is
say,
just
hon?
amazing.
Well, it's not going to be funny now, but I'll try.
Oh.
I thought about putting a little container next to the door and having machetes in there so you can cut your way through. So, but since you did the door cutting, it didn't work for
Oh.
me. So,
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yes.
No, hang on. I gotta.
I
open it
have
up.
to say too one more plant story because the thing is that I like rearranging things. And I used to do this all the time when I was a kid. So what I've discovered is that if I can rearrange my plants regularly, and it's kind of fun, you get to learn which one likes the sun and which one doesn't, and all this stuff. So I had taken my what's that called, a pitcher plant, right? And I'd taken it off of the tree because it was just it's just totally overgrowing that pot, and it's starting to. It just doesn't get enough moisture there. I can't reach it very well, so I put it back above my sink, and I cut it back really, and it's doing well. And the other day I was on the phone, and I grabbed the water sprayer bottle, and I sprayed it, and I'm going, oh, what is that smell? And I didn't have my glasses on. I grabbed my glasses, and I realized I doused it in bleach.
Oh my
goodness.
And the bleach was coming out. You could smell it. And I thought, oh no. So I thought, I've killed it. So I pulled it down, and I just set it in the sink, and I started dousing it with like what we wash the dishes with, just
With all the water.
trying to get the bleach off of it. And then I put it back up, and it's 2 days later, and that thing has never looked better. I think I killed the germs. It was kind of like, I disinfected it.
That's a close one.
Well, we'll find out. It might die in the next couple of days, but so far it looks really, really good.
That's funny. I think too. I think bleach gets out of water pretty fast when it mists too, like that. I think.
I don't know. It smelled.
Misty.
It was definitely a bleachy smell. So anyway,
But hopefully
We could do it again. Just leave it there and see what happens.
It'd be an interesting experiment. Would the plant turn white and still grow?
Dun,
No,
dun,
chlorophyll. You need the
dun.
green.
Could you have an albino plant?
I'm sure they
I
make
thought
them.
you were gonna say it was one of those.
That white root plant.
You know those vining ones that has different colors
pipe.
on it? I thought maybe it wasn't like that's what it did to the plant. Like, oh, you had made it cooler looking with the bleach.
oh
But then yours is so much better. I'm gonna turn
well,
on
I
that.
know that sounds awesome. If we could change the color, I like that. But
I don't think the plant would be very happy with it.
yeah,
Okay, don't use bleach on your plant.
No
Remember the
bleachy?
donkey and our sugar cane?
What?
yeah. I think we talked about that.
I'm pretty sure
Oh,
we
we already
did.
told that story?
I think we told that story. Yeah, because the donkey liked the.
It was
Yeah.
to go back
traumatizing.
to see that.
Not very
Oh,
sweet.
man.
Let me tell you something. Haida W says, my mom and I have been binge watching some of your older weekly peaks. ATM, we're on episode 161. We are wondering whatever happened to the beautiful cabin. Haven't seen it for a while. And I think the plan is we're going to head up there eventually here.
Mhm. Yeah.
Probably, is it this summer, you think? We get to it?
Yeah, I was going to try to get up there this summer. Maybe work on
I
maybe
think.
closer to August.
Yeah, I think Garen and Ellie want us to all go.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
all
I'll
go up
go
and do one thing to it and
Floor.
have some fun up there. And yeah,
Floors
it's
and maybe a
it'll
rocket
be
stove.
it's a lot cooler there because I believe it's like over 9,000 feet elevation.
Yeah,
there.
it's really up
So
there.
it'll be in the hot summer days. It's still 70, 80s up there, so it should be nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it'll be beautiful and really fun to work together on that project. That'll
Yeah.
be really fun.
And Azalea's with us now.
Yeah, she can start getting into stuff.
Oh, that'll be so
Yeah.
fun.
That'll be fun.
Be fun. Well, that's coming to a video near you soon.
Yeah, we'll get up there.
A Gail G says, "How is learning to play new instruments going?"
Oh,
It's a little
where you
little
at?
progress every so often. I've got the ukulele, the dulcimer, and a couple of different saxophones that I'm working with. So the treatment on my throat's doing really good. Finally, almost back, getting there really slowly.
Yeah.
Good.
So when that
Something good.
happens, not that it stopped me. I'm trying to work my muscles up and get the saxophone going. I know it's kind of funny. It's like, I don't know if you're an artist, you have your cartoon, and just about anything flies. But if you want to get into realism, like painting or drawing or chalk or anything, you can't fake that. You have to keep doing it until it looks right. And I feel like that's what a saxophone is. You can't just fake it. You have to keep doing it until it sounds right.
That's so true.
Got to build up those muscles. So it takes time.
I have not touched my saxophone
Not as consistent
in a
as I
while.
want to be, but huh?
I've not touched my saxophone. in a
Oh.
while. It's just sat there.
Looks good, right?
Yeah. It's just for looks at this point.
I like to immediately apply.
Just to look at the saxophone. It's just decoration in my room.
It
No,
is
it's
very
art.
pretty.
It's just art now.
When it gets dusty, I don't know how I'm going to dust that thing, but it's for decoration.
You know those little cans of air? You know, you can spray it.
actually,
Ooh, yeah, that would probably work.
Then
really
that
good.
dust spreads around to the rest of the room, but
Perfect.
at least it's not on the
You know what I
saxophone.
did once? You won't believe what I used one of those dust cans to dust my room once because I had this on my desk. I had all these little 3D prints that I'd done. I just collected all of them, and they get dusty. And I was just like, how am I going to dust all of these little parts and these little things on my desk? How am I going to dust everything? I opened my windows up, put a fan in my window, took the air can, and it went in the
Didn't
room.
they
All the
blow-
dust just blew out my room.
Perfect.
So I just sat there and I just kept blowing everything
But
around.
didn't they
and
fall
all of it
over?
just-
Like,
they kind of did, but you dust them as you
okay.
go, and I got all my entire room was dusted and clean, and
all
it
went
worked
out
out
the
really
window.
well.
Cool.
love it. That's good.
I was like, go. I opened one window on one end and put a fan in the other end in a window, and it just
How to dust, Bryson?
fresh air
style?
came in and
Bryson style dust. Give me a can of air.
worked great. Nice.
But there's not
Or an
to
air
bring us
compressor,
back
one of the
around.
two.
But I feel like for the music thing, I like to have a goal to go for. When learning a new instrument, like, okay, I'm gonna learn this, but I'm gonna learn this song or whatever it is, so I have an immediate place to apply whatever I've learned. And me and Dad, we were working on maybe doing some new music,
Yep.
some stuff. So and I'm workshopping there.
Got
too,
some
I'm
new
sure.
plugins in Logic Pro that I really want to stretch out a little bit. The new horns, not new, it's a year old or more.
Yeah.
But at least I'm making use of it now. So the new Horn Studio and String Studio are two new ones I really want to.
Yeah, for sure. And you've cleaned up, just not really cleaned up, but organized we're right now in the basement of the studio, or the second floor. I don't know how you'd say that, but the top floor now is going to be the music studio. So we've moved Mom down here with us, and so we're gonna have a huge.
And
room
Dad's
up there to work
office
with.
now is the entire
Yeah.
Upstairs.
upstairs.
Well, you've already got the drum
Drums are all
set
set
all
up.
set up,
I got
and
the pad out
hopefully
for the-
get a
for the
little baby
keyboards.
grand going in there.
We're still looking for a baby grand.
Yeah, it's got a baby grand.
So
in
that'll
there.
be going in there.
Which means I
And
have
you
to move
guys
the
could
drum
put your
set.
saxophones up there too if you want, and play those up there.
I'm not dusting them.
I don't know,
Bring your
Bryson.
own can of air.
Yeah, so I like to have that stuff in my room so I can.
And if
that's
you
why.
don't know already, Gary is really has a gift in music, and as far as orchestration and putting things, the background music, he's not really into lyrics and singing. But
Songs have lyrics? What is a lyric?
But he loves doing background music, which is something that we keep trying to free up time for him to do, because it is something that he has a talent for. And Bree, of course, is a lyricist and plays all kinds of instruments. Bryson's the same way. He plays all kinds of instruments. Shay is pretty much just voice. That's really where
That's what
her
she loves.
She's
talent
good. She
That's
can
what she loves
tinker
to do.
around on the piano a little bit, but
So it's been something that we always enjoy music and
Garen's guitars
Yeah.
and violin and what else has he
Trumpet.
played? Yeah, he's picked up my flugelhorn now and then. I'll play that.
So it's just something that we definitely want to keep tinkering with and keep and eventually we've often really wanted to do all our own music behind videos, but the amount of music we go through is so enormous.
We eat it like candy.
I mean, yeah, we go through probably, what do you think, Bree? 10, 15 songs every weekly peak, and it would
I'd
just
say so, yeah.
yeah,
And just for
trying
everything
to
else,
do.
like maybe I might go through 5 or 6 on just a short little something too. Who knows?
And we
sometimes
were
there's-
setting it up so that you could do a song each one, but then you got so many other projects going too, because we're actually doing the video tips, and then we're also thinking about doing a music video. Aren't you two once a week or
I
something?
would love
or
to do that.
at some point?
I want like to keep in lyrical shape. I believe, and we'll see now as my life progresses, but I believe that creativity and songwriting isn't some jar with very little in it. You've got to be very sparingly with how you use that creativity. I believe creativity is a muscle, and it's something that you work on and you get better and better and better and better at.
Yeah,
that
nothing
means-
ruins a good song like lyrics. I mean, it's just. Go ahead, though. What were
Dad
you going to
likes
say?
the background stuff more.
What are these people saying? Get out of the way!
Hey, quit talking! Quit talking over my song.
But anyway, and I would like to have kind of a weekly something that keeps me writing and keeps me doing something. They won't be maybe gangbusters, but it's just the idea of doing something every week, completing something, and staying in lyrical shape.
Yeah, I
So,
agree.
Anyway, that's,
You know what else I want to do? New instruments. I would like to get a pea horn,
What's
A
that?
what?
a plastic trumpet.
that would be kind of fun.
Oh,
They're not
that's
as,
good.
Yeah, they're not as expensive as
Like the plastic
brass ones.
plastic saxophone.
Yes. Well,
Uh,
no.
But no, but yes, but no. They also have and you know what else we should do? They have these they're like electronic saxophones that you have where you plug them right into your computer and then you blow into them.
Yeah, it's just air too. You don't have to have a reed.
Yeah,
it's not
and it has a
noisy at
reed,
all.
but it's not the reed that creates the sound. And so
so clever.
anyway, they have those too. I don't know. We're gonna have to play with a lot of really
Yeah.
fun stuff. I can't wait.
And
I'd like to get the
they were
P-horn, though.
saying it's really nice for
They're not
like
that
if
expensive.
you're on the bus or something. You obviously you can't play a saxophone on the bus, but you could play something like
Yeah, because you
that
put.
because you
put
just
your
have
headphones
headphones on and you can hear everything, but everyone else
Yeah.
just hears you blowing.
I don't know like how hard those are to play, but
Hey, so
Uh-huh.
is everything okay with that guy over there? Yeah. He's fine. Look at him.
Jamming his head all over the
you can make them
place.
have like different sounds too. So something could be totally different. You could play a trumpet while you're playing this electronic sax. Be interesting.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I don't
that's-
know. I want to
thank
try
you,
all
MIDI.
kinds of stuff. I want to try and
all
work
MIDI.
in all kinds of stuff.
I've been shocked how those plastic instruments sound so good.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just crazy,
It
isn't
really
it?
is.
It
It's
is a
like
little crazy.
wow, that's
And that
amazing.
really opens up a world to a lot of younger folks, or you got a lot of kids that want to try out different things. If they don't cost you an arm and a leg, and you don't have to rent them monthly or whatever, it just opens up that whole
Yeah.
world to all.
And
You know,
so much.
You might drop them and everything else too, and it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. I mean that ones
They're
the J sax
waterproof.
that I have,
They're
you could
durable.
chuck that across the room and it would be fine. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
they're
you
really
give that to
hardy
a real
instruments.
young person.
Yeah.
You're right. It's
a
just
great
it's so
instrument.
Or they're
Even a
novel, and you
plastic
just want to play
reed,
one. I just want
too,
to play a
which is
plastic
big.
horn. That would be cool.
yeah.
Yeah, just to do it.
Also, too, it opens up the idea of 3D printing, custom design.
3D print me one, would you?
But I mean, like, you can design them unique designs we've never been able to make in the past. We can make in internal structures in these instruments that could potentially manipulate the sound in a more pleasing way or whatever, so
Yeah.
to speak.
Well, there's a lot of science behind a B flat trumpet,
Yeah.
and those links of those pipes and tubes and so on and so forth, the
be
valves and how
auto-tuned
they're
and-
arranged and how the air flows through those, and so there's a
Yeah.
little science behind it. It'd
I
be
know
fun
there
to
is,
do,
but
though,
if you,
wouldn't it?
if you could
Science.
figure it out, I remember, and I think I've mentioned this before. Somebody made a flute out of the back end of a head post of a bed, you know, like a metal one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He drilled all the holes and then played it like an instrument. It was
While he was laying in
so
bed?
cool. No, he was
Oh.
on the side of it. It was an old bed, you know.
Oh, he's on the side of the bed
he
playing
was on
it.
he was on the side of like a street or something. You know, it was a,
He
in
just
the-
made it
He
out
was
of
in the
the
street with a
sounded
bed.
cool.
I'm really confused.
Okay.
Oh, he took it off of the bed
Yeah.
and made it into.
This
Okay.
is my eyes.
I
closed.
thought,
If
you know, let's
can't
just walk
see
up to a
it, my
bed and
eyes
start
are
playing
bulging.
it. It's just.
Yeah.
That's
And
cool,
people,
though.
They make instruments out of like
I'm telling you.
fruits and vegetables. And
Yeah, carrots.
So
all kinds
I've
of
seen
stuff.
that.
I don't have any room to put a grand piano in my bed or in my room. So
No.
what I was thinking
You
is
could take the bed out.
I'm going to build it into my bed. I have so much room underneath the bed. I feel like I could slip a grand piano underneath my bed, move the keys up on the end of the bed, and I'll have a piano where a whole grand piano where the sound comes out from underneath the bed
That's cool.
in my room.
Yeah, I was even
Or you could
thinking
do chains
lift
and
the bed
lift the
up,
bed on
you
cables.
know, like
Oh, you lift the bed. And then you can
you
play.
know, like how you would open up the
You lift the bed up. That's funny.
Oh, yeah.
on a little yeah.
I always thought that'd be great because you have
I
no
like
room
that.
to put a grand piano in my room, but yet you could. Oh, and then on top of that, you could make a pool table where your bed rolls up, and then you have a pool table on
Right
top
next
of
to
a
the
grand
piano.
where you're top of a bed.
My
so it's a bed, a pool table, and a grand piano.
I like that better than you guys putting a foosball table.
No way.
in
We're
my
building
kitchen.
the foosball
No,
table.
no
yes, we
foosball
are.
table
I
in
think
the
we should.
kitchen.
Okay,
We love
actually,
Here's the
I have a
foosball.
thought on that.
I wanted to combine fish
brilliant.
tanks with foosball tables. Sorry. Yes, go ahead.
I-
And aquaponics.
Okay, so
systems.
it's foosball, Mom.
Yes.
But it spins around and it has a beautiful finish, a beautiful wood finish on the back of it. So you flip it, and then it's foosball, and then you shove it all together, and then you flip it, and it's just a regular coffee table.
That's cool, but they also
Classy on one side, sassy on the other.
Okay, I might be flexible on
Okay.
that kind of idea.
We just have to make
Also-
it look nice.
also
Coffee table. It has to be
Also,
right height.
they make.
Oh, I don't know.
Well,
about
we
that
could make the
then.
coffee table raise and go down. They make clear glass that sets on top of foosball tables, so that you can have a table.
Yeah, but see,
But
then
it's
you
also
know it's a
foosball table, so you
table.
can
It's
Is
a
he
little
saying
tacky.
fools?
No, foos.
Fools.
No, but the thing is, if you wanted the glass, you
Wow.
could get.
Wow.
If you got that temperature
Love that.
smoky glass that you can just turn the knob and it darkens it, you could actually darken and never see the foosball table, and then when you lighten it up, you see foosball table.
But then I have a glass table, and I don't know that I want a glass table.
Okay.
Sounds like a pain
Well,
to keep
I was
clean.
thinking this. I was thinking you have a fish tank underneath the fish tank, you've got the foosball table. So you look through the fish tank to see your foosball table while you have fish swimming around there.
How confusing would that be? You're trying to play and there's a fish in the way.
That, I'm for that.
And then attached to the top of that, you have growing plants.
I love it. It's
No.
aquaponics.
An
Aquaponic
aquaponics.
foosball.
Table.
Yes, I like it.
Actually, here's a better idea.
Oh, no,
You
here
have
it goes.
a mirror that reflects the foosball table underneath to the side of the tank.
So you,
So
you look sideways to play? You look straight on to play? Oh,
because
All
it
right then.
reflects it to the
okay.
the front of the tank.
I like it.
You know what we could do is get those Oculus set up and then just play foosball that way.
Yes. Yes, and then we just store the glasses in the cupboards, and you pull them out when you want to play foosball.
Never lose a ball.
Genius.
We actually could do that. Think about that. In our kitchen, we have a round system, right? And then we have our TV that sits there on the wall. So we actually could put all the little devices that we need to make an Oculus system work on all around the room, and then we could have that whole space.
How about something in your room that does that?
And make an aquaponics out of it. Okay, I don't know.
We should make a
With
padded
fake
room.
fish. They would always be healthy. pH would be perfect.
You
That
know what?
just ruins all the fun.
What?
I forgot to say what I was going to say about the Mother's Day this
It's
year.
time.
That made Mother's Day a little different for us.
Oh, okay.
Is that when you usually when you're young you have just your mother that you think about, and then you become a mother and you're like, oh wow, now I have to you also have people like like your kids saying Happy Mother's Day to you, but then you also have your mom, and then Gary has his mom, so it gets a little bit bigger, and then you're just thinking, okay, Mother's Day is and then and then Ellie comes along, Garen and Ellie, and now you go up the ladder, and now we're going down the ladder. Not that it's down, but just generation.
Yeah, generation-wise.
Right? So this was a down the ladder thing this year, and that's kind of fun too. I
You
mean,
look both ways, and there's
yeah,
moms.
it's like there's moms everywhere.
Oh my goodness.
The moms keep growing.
Wow. So human.
So
It's
that was
amazing.
new to me this year.
Oh.
It's kind of
That's cool.
That was awesome. Huh? I like
cool.
that. You got the generational ladder.
You know, though,
back and
they do
forth.
have a day called Grandparents' Day. It's not very high yield, but it might be good to think about.
I feel
we
like
might
every
have
day
to
is
really emphasize that this year, because I don't
Yeah.
think we've ever really
We have to
recognized
now.
that before.
Yeah, Grandparents' Day is important. I think that the gift threshold should be somewhere around $300-400.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's
Don't you think?
at least.
Well, it's better than
Enough to buy
I
a
was gonna
pea trumpet
genuinely
with
take
that,
that seriously, but then I remembered somebody just became a grandpa for the third time.
Hey, you.
But here's
Then
the
we
thing: if we bring it
realized.
up, you have folks, and I have folks.
I
and,
know, 'cause
now
that's
we've
where
got
my brain
6
went.
of us. So
That's great grandparents. They don't have
And
a day
that's
for
like
that.
over a
And you
grand.
just made a
not
$400 threshold here, so you know what's going to happen?
What?
It ends at them, so they're going to end up with $800
Yeah.
or $400 threshold gifts, because the $400 is going to go to you, right, from us kids, and then you're going to give that $400 to your grandparents. You're going to end up
This sounds like a pyramid scheme. That's
Yeah.
right.
I don't
And
have.
then
I don't have
they're gonna end
grandparents.
up
I mean, I
with-
don't have any grandparents that are around anymore.
No, we just pay a
Oh.
lot.
we just end up paying
And it's
$8.
all
Well,
you have
you
to
guys
forget about
have the money. I don't understand. You guys have all the money. This
Forget about it.
makes sense to me.
Oh, wait a minute, you're
This
right.
is this
didn't
is
go
called
through that.
Econ 101. That's when
We're
you
gonna end
know?
up spending $1,000 every year on just grandparents and parents.
Well, you're the ones all making money. It's the ones that make sense to me. It's economics right
Oh
there.
my goodness.
That's how the taxation works.
Well, that was a lovely pin on today. Did we have one more comment that we wanted to take, Mom? Something you've been seeing over there?
I do want to ask a question. If anyone knows this, does anyone know if catfish eat snails?
Dun dun dun.
Probably
meaning to
if they're
research this, I
mouse.
just haven't.
Are they mouse snails?
I have a second
With little
question
mouse
to
ears?
ask.
Catfish might actually eat snails.
I think
I
so.
suspect it.
I have a second question
cool.
to
I could be
ask
wrong.
because we're going to be pouring those doors, and
Oh.
you're supposed to pour them within 24 hours. You're supposed to just pour them, and
Mhm.
we've had to wait longer because we've had to wait for this stuff to arrive. thinking about sanding it down, and I'm sure that that's a normal thing that everyone does. But I just in case, I want to toss that question out. Do you sand it? If you were to do it, do you sand it and then pour a second layer? Is that going to adhere enough? Is it going to cause any issues?
Yeah, I
As
don't
long
want
as
it to go
doesn't get rid of
down.
my
I don't want it to go
insects that
bad
live
or
on
I'm
Yeah,
it.
going
or
to
nothing.
say
That's
yes
fine.
because if you remember, we did the epoxy in the bathroom and I sanded it down between layers.
That's right.
And
I
it's
forget.
Not, you
You're
don't
right.
see the. You think, oh my goodness, you're going to see those sand lines, but you don't. They blend and
They blend. Okay.
It's probably because
Okay, I just thought I'd throw that
But
out
now
there.
let's ask it anyway because
Yeah.
I've only done it one time and I'm not. You know,
Yeah, I'm
obviously
not sure. Just because I don't want to ruin them. We work so hard.
Now, did we get any comments
Come
about
on,
the
wife.
length of the video? Because the length was like 27 minutes. Bree and I killed ourselves getting
We
20.
did.
And I was like, did anybody say anything about the length? Like,
No.
thank you for the length or anything.
Poor Bobby.
I was like, no. I was like, oh, that's okay. Actually, it might be good because they might go, why did you put out such a long video? So I guess it's good in a way. We didn't
Oh,
get
yeah.
comments about the length. But I will say,
You
I
guys
had
did
this
work hard
little-
on that.
I had this little joke thing that I realized that I was going to put in there just to be funny, and then I realized it really wasn't going to be funny because it would only be an inside joke, and everybody else would have thought it was serious, so I didn't do it. But I was thinking about just doing a slow motion of me and Happy Mother's Day and putting it in, and I thought just to punk you guys, you know. But
That would have been funny.
people wouldn't have probably known that
Yeah.
that I was editing it, and so it wouldn't have been so funny. So but I did have a good chuckle as I was editing,
We
thinking
should've-
about
okay,
it.
no, for real though. We should have had you guys both running through one of our fields. You and Ellie, like arm in arm, baby on the hip, right?
Yeah.
And just like running, you know, and it's the slow motion.
Dun 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 dun.
Bryson got this new,
dun, 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 dun.
It is so cool.
like a
It's
little
it's
telescope.
about this long, and it's this which
Micro
maybe I'll say in
lens,
case you don't
so
do
to speak.
visuals. It's what is that, like 6 or 8 inches long?
Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
talk about that because it's so
Um,
cool.
So it like connects to your phone lens and it zooms in really close on stuff. And it's actually mainly used for like bird watching. You're like supposed to
Yeah.
put it up to your eye and you can bird watch with it.
Oh, cool.
But they made a phone attachment for it, and that's been kind of fun. being
It's
able to
so
film some
cool. We're gonna
stuff,
try to
so.
get some of those.
Can we film fish in the water?
I don't know. You could try it, and we're gonna try to get some of the
Probably not waterproof.
No,
the
I was thinking
hummingbirds.
from above going in.
He's gonna try
Oh
to
yeah,
see-
we're gonna try to get some hummingbirds.
But but the thing is, it comes in like a circle. Because Bryson, you were at the Aquaponics, and I was out watering plants, and you were like,
I was filming
Mom
you
in
from
her
really far
habitat.
away. I was,
Mom in her
I was just-
natural
circle of me
habitat.
watering.
you were like really far away, and I was like, look how clear it is. It like comes in really clear. I'm like,
Well, you could crop it to fit.
Yeah,
You could, but
You
could.
and it
The
ruins
circles-
the effect.
the circle's kind of fun. Yeah, it is. But
Um,
anyway, yeah.
It's like a spyglass.
Oh yeah, I looked at
Yeah,
the
it
moon
is.
with it the last couple nights.
The moon's been
Oh, we
big.
had supermoon again.
Well, not last
Oh
night.
my gosh,
2,
Yes.
3
it's
nights
been
ago.
so light outside to the point where you don't even need a flashlight. It's been so nice to put the goats in because I put the goats in every night. Usually
Yeah.
it's dark. I don't need my flashlight. I just walk out there and I can see all of them, and it's been really bright.
I've had it a
Like-
few times where it comes flying through my skylight, and I can't sleep because it's just too bright.
oh, right.
Yeah,
It's
it looks like
crazy.
snow in the desert.
It
The
does.
sand, it kind of,
It does look like
snow
snow.
at
It
night.
does look like snow.
Yeah.
In the old days where I
It's
was
It's so
from.
bright though. It's
Yeah.
like, whoa. It's
Uh,
amazing.
crazy. Well, I think that the moon is. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to work like the
An
end of the
ending?
day to the end of the podcast, and every
Well,
day,
the
every
sun
way I've thought about
rises.
putting it, it doesn't sound right. So we're just gonna skip it. It could have been awesome, but we'll skip it.
Well, the sun sets and so do we. But the moon sets, so do we.
Oh, see.
I'm
No way to
setting.
put it. So anyway, thank you so much for being a part of our family. If you didn't know, hopefully the visuals work and we can wave at you goodbye. But if they did not, and of course that's over on our, if you're watching us from another place, because we put this out on iTunes and we also put this out on Spotify. So if you want to see visuals, hopefully they're here over on YouTube. And if you're seeing us on YouTube, well, hi. So if it didn't work this week, we're gonna keep trying it. We're just gonna keep trying it until it works. So, but anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being a part of our family, and we hope that you have a fabulous week. We'll see you for that Aquaponics update on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye.